the key to eliminating the neural pathways that pain creates, to eliminate those long term, there's one thing that you have to do. You have to stop using them. When you stop using those neural pathways, they go away. But that's obviously not an easy thing to do, and that's why people would be coming to me for help, right? So how do you go about not using those neural pathways? Well, you need a diversion. The natural thing that your body's going to want to do, and what we learn as a response to a stimulus from outside of us, whether it's a situation or a thought, you have the stimulus and the response is the pain traveling through your well-worn neural pathways. And I say the word well-worn, but that doesn't mean that because they're well-worn that they can't be reversed. We're much more flexible than people think. But we need the diversion, okay? And so the diversion away from those neural pathways can only be a few things for it to work effectively. There's three things, okay? You need a goal that you can work towards, and that's going to divert the pain away from the neural pathway, because now your attention, your reticular activation system, your imagination is going towards your goal. You're emotionalizing your goal instead of emotionalizing your pain. And if you start moving your attention towards your goal, well, now you're not using the pain pathway. And the more you do that, the more the pain pathway dies away. Also, another way to divert the pain off that pathway is to use gratitude. And, that's to always just be looking around for what's going well for you. And having gratitude is not something that you can just do all at once. You have to grow your gratitude neural pathways. Find the things that you're grateful for and practice gratitude for those things all the time. You get used to doing it. There's techniques there's many techniques, too many to say right now, but there's techniques for practicing gratitude, and the same with goals. And that's, two of the main things that we work on using hypnotherapy. Also, you can also, you have the goals, you have the gratitude, but one of the more underestimated new neural pathways it's the I don't care diversion, the so what diversion. It's the attitude of indifference. And for some people, it looks like, so what? I don't care. For some people, they might just say to themselves, oh, well. For some people, it's turning the control and the care over to God. That's what it looks like to them. So you hand over control to God the way that you understand God. And that also takes practice. You don't learn to do this all at once. But if you practice it consistently, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. If you develop this attitude and you implement it day by day, you will have established a new neural pathway that is not pain related. And so we need pain. Pain is a signal, but it's basically a learned response that we can amplify by turning to it so many times. And, the brain does it to help you. But these things can be deprogrammed, and it's not such a tall mountain to climb. Neuroplasticity, it's proven. They used to say that it was only for people under 30, and not true at all. You can definitely change your neural pathways. It's not always easy, but it's definitely simple. And there's three tools there, and those are the three main things that we're going to work on in a hypnotherapy session, especially with the goals and the gratitude. And we pile on beliefs on top of that to make sure that you have this firm structure put in place to help you deal with emotions and situations that arise. But in the end, also to start programming in the default. Like if things are getting really tough, you need the ability to say, oh well. You need the practice of handing it over to God when things start to mount. And pretty much we want to use all three together, and as often as possible, implementing that without being hyper vigilant, because when you're trying to control the situations and the emotions too much, that's going to create tension, and that's going to amplify the pain signal itself. So we implement these things gently over time with multiple sessions, and eventually you're thinking, feeling, and acting differently. And that's ultimately the goal. And let me tell you, hypnotherapy often works so well that you just find yourself having the different feelings. You find yourself making the different decisions, and you find yourself feeling better. And, you know, at least for me, I was kind of amazed because when I first started implementing hypnotherapy into my life, I don't know what I was expecting, but what I was not expecting is that it would have its own momentum, and I would kind of have to double check where I'm at, because I'd be driving, for example, where I used to have this huge fear response, and I could feel like I can't breathe, and I want to jump out of my skin, having anxiety while I was driving. I would just forget about the anxiety, and I would be driving along, and hey, wait a second, this used to really, I should be feeling something right now. This used to really freak me out. And the whole idea just started to slowly, and I don't want to use magical language, but it really started to slowly vanish from my mind. And it was in an area that was pretty much beyond my awareness. And so with that, I hope I gave you something valuable. And I'm going to start uploading one of these videos, hopefully every day, and just talking about these sorts of things. So I'll see you tomorrow.